Bianca. Then the petitioner in 525 of 2020.
Yes.
And in that matter, Lempa sued the National Assembly. The appearances for National Assembly is as follows. First respondent, Mr. Eric Kumbo, Paul Nyamori. Process today, Dr. Mtomi Gankoli, myself, Peter Manyama. Then the second respondent is the Senate of Mercy Tanji, present in court, is all supported.
Yes, interested parties. We have interested parties also. Senior Council, you are still here for the party. The deputy president. Yes. The whole team, what is it? Six.
My lords, my lady. May it please, my lords, my ladies.
Just a minute, please.
Yeah, on behalf of the petitioner in petition 525 of 2024, my name is Lempa, and I appear together with Mwakichako Kubo, Alex, online or virtually.
You say you appear with who?
Mwakichako Kubo, Alex.
Who's for the second party in this matter? Who's for the President William Samuel Ruto?
Just to assist the court, I initially, my friend, the senior counsel, Fred Ngati, was appearing for both the president and the deputy president, was a change advocates. So we are appearing the deputy president. I assume senior counsel Fred Ngati continues to appear for the president.
Thank you. Mr. Ngati, your line. Apparently not. E528.
I don't think you've taken the time for E25.
You are left out.
Yes. And the challenge leadership is that I have not carried that particular file. Perhaps you could tell me Jubilee Party appears as which president.
Jubilee Party does not appear here. Is it? It's not in this matter.
Okay, what parties I don't know.
The parties here are Midomo John, petitioner, the National Assembly, the Senate of Kenya, His Excellency Deputy President, and His Excellency William Samuel Ruto. Uh, 528, John Mugo Kiragu and 5 others versus the National Assembly, Kenya and 4 others.
Hello, Stanley. This is the court. That matter, my name is Simon Paul. I'm on record for the petitioners. We'll be appearing together with Mr. Ngatia, present in court. Mr. Ndegwa.
Where's Mr. Ngatia? Not the Ngatia we expect.
Yes. Mr. Ndegwa,
I present.
the National Assembly, then you have Mr. Eric Gumbo, Paul Nyamodi, Moses Gay, and Nelly, Dr. Mutomi Nkiankolu, myself, Peter Wanya. But for the Speaker, the National Assembly of Mr. Limo.
Just a minute. You are for which party first?
For the first respondent.
Yes, second respondent.
Yes, so for the second respondent of the privilege to introduce Mr. Limo's online platform, Mr. Kuyoni, who is present in court, Mr. Tama, also present in court. Followed for the third and fourth respondent, Sanji, together with Ms. Paula.
Yes. I hope we have taken quorum on all the relevant points.
Do you have a sign that 7, Malo? So,
537, yes. 537, we have Gemma Wathel Association versus the National Assembly.
Your Lordship. Please, Rabu
Gachagua.
Watuta. I am here together with the learned friend, Mr. Wambogo Wanjoy. Next to Mr. Kariuki Karanja, who the first is in the party, and Mr. James Dennis, equally on the
James Dennis.
James Dennis.
in this matter, for the first respondent, the National Assembly, Mr. Eric Gumbo, the online platform, Paul Nyamodi, the online platform, Moses Kipkugay, the online platform, Ken Melly, online platform, and Domin Kolu, online platform, and myself, Peter Wanya. For the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly for the second and third respondent, respectively, to have Mr. Limo, the online platform, Mr. Kuyoni, and Ms. Akama, President Court for us to have this. Then, my Lord, for the Senate, that is the fourth, fifth respondent as the Speaker of the Senate, Stanji. We have what? Stanji. And Sopola, they are present in court. Physically. Thank you.
There is an SPG as and Honorable Gachagua also as interested parties.
Yes, then representation.
I think that does for the forum. Yes.
Lord, all these petitions,
You want to address me on which one?
522.
Yes.
But before I address these reports, 522, there's one housekeeping issue. Perhaps your lordships and your fellowship may wish to address this, which is that your brother, Justice, the Honorable Mr. Justice Ramsey, directed all these files, the Chief Justice. They raise cross-cutting issues. So to save on judicial time, I don't know whether this court refers to be heard together without being consolidated, whether the courts will refer to other courts. Just drawing the attention of this court to that, so that we can clarify how we move on the 6th petition. And that the 6th petition have been filed because of the very weighty issues, constitutional issues that are raised in each of these suits. But the issue for the court to resolve, do we hear them together without formal consultation, or do we consult hear them as
What is your proposal? Because we are submitting the issue.
my proposal, subject to what my learned friends say, is that we hear them together, currently, without any formal consultation. But I leave it to my colleagues and finally to them. You are the ones with the pen.
Thank you.
Well, for the respondents,
The Lordship, I thought I was speaking to my learned friend that perhaps the petitioners also make their proposals, so that in respect to my learned seniors' suggestions, so that the respondents can then enjoy. I am of the same view, Your Lordship, in petition number 5 or 9, that since they raise cutting issues, for proper management of our time and expediency, that a consolidation of the same be considered.
Yes.
So that we can have a standardized way of getting over the matters. So that you have to submit your lordship and submit on the consolidated petition. I am most blessed.
Yes.
okay, since the other petitioner don't want to have a bite, let me try which one.
Mr. Ndegwa, that was you.
Yes, your lordship in A0509.
Yes.
That the lordship in 537, we can have the matters heard alongside each other without a problem.
Your name?
My name is Kirago.
Mr. Kirago.
In fact,
Your position in petition number 528, 2024. Simon Ngoro is my name. I wish that we proceed to the matters of being consolidated in response to a consolidated petition. Simon Ngoro.
Yes, you prefer consolidation.
Consolidation.
We have council who are online. I believe that you understand of what we are talking about here, and if you want to contribute, let's say something.
My Lord, perhaps if I may, for the National Assembly, my name is Nyamodi. I am online.
Yes.
My Lord, the National Assembly is a respondent in all these petitions. And perhaps, my Lord, this is an opportune time for me to point out to you that there are 23 other petitions. There are 29 in number altogether.
Yes.
My Lord, the National Assembly has made an application for consolidation. And that application for consolidation is on the court record in this matter. My Lord, the National Assembly is of the view that these matters are best dealt with after consolidation, that they are consolidated and had as a consolidated petition. Because the issues are cross-cutting and they are the same in nearly all the 29 petitions that are pending in respect of this process.
Thank you. Is there any other person who wants to submit on the issue?
Yes, my Lord, with your permission, Milimo, my Lord. My Lord, I appear, my Lord, for the Speaker of the National Assembly. My Lord, on our part, we associate ourselves with the submissions of Malani Senior, Mr. Nyamodi. My Lord, you shall note that the petitions, my Lord, a total to 29 in number, my Lord, raise similar or same issues. And my Lord, so that then we handle these issues together, we would propose, my Lord, that you exercise, my Lord, some patience to have all those matters availed before the bench, my Lord, one way or the other. Because, my Lord, you shall note that some have since been referred to the CJ, and it's expected, my Lord, that they would all land before this bench. And that, my Lord, therefore, so that we take directions once and for all in respect of all those matters, my Lord, we would respect that maybe the court considered, my Lord, to grant this matter a mentioned date. Maybe by Friday, at which time, my Lord, it would be expected that all the matters would have been availed before you, then we take directions at once. We will go for consolidation, my Lord, of all the matters so that we have one consolidated file. And if possible, my Lord, then we sieve the issues in all the files so that the responses can be one to all the petitions as opposed to each, which will be, my Lord, a little bit difficult and tedious for the parties. I thank you, my Lord.
Thank you. Mr. Milimo and Mr. Nyamodi, have you cited the 29 petitions which you claim have been filed?
My Lord, we have cited as many as they were when the application for consolidation was made. But my Lord, they have been coming thick and fast. I have the list of the 29. If your Lordship wants, I can read it out and place it on the record.
Yes, Assistant Counsel Muti.
Lord, being in a court of law, particularly a court of means that the court is guided by practice. Your Lordship are being addressed about files which are not before this. You cannot make any orders regarding consolidations or being had together. These 6 files are before this honorable court pursuant to the orders of the Chief Justice. Anybody wants to do anything else, let them follow the correct procedure. But we are anxious today in 522 to argue our notice of motion for conservatory orders. That is why we are here. I hear my colleague, learned friend, Mr. Milimu, talking about Friday. After the Senate, we have sat. We are seeking to persuade this court to issue a conservatory order today so that the illegality and constitutional resolution by the National Assembly does not proceed any further. Give us that opportunity to persuade this court on our notice of motion for the conservative orders. Unless, of course, my colleague Mr. Milimu and Mr. Nyamongi concede to our application for conservatory order so that this court can have the luxury of time listen to all these very weighty issues. But for this afternoon, this evening, we seek the opportunity to persuade this court give us a summary.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, if you know addressing the issue of consolidation. My colleague is agitated, certain minutes.
I thought you were the ones to make a response in respect to what you have submitted on.
The issue of consolidation, I think, should not take too much of our time.
That's okay, my lord. Yes. So that's I want to get to clarify.
Yes.
My lord, there are files. For example, there's a file today which we have just appeared before Justice Chachamita. We appear as respondents in all these matters. Therefore, we have a singular duty to bring out these facts to the court so that we can consider. Today, at 3:30, Justice Chachamita has made a ruling in 550 of 2024.
Why don't we deal with the issue of consolidation?
That's what I'm bringing files for my
these files before us here. Yeah. Then you can then move forward.
My lord, the issue of consolidation we are submitting with if you make that order now, it's going to be affected with the decision which has been made today by Justice Chachamita. And my lord, I wanted to just address you so that you can consider that. So my lord, today Justice Chachamita has issued a ruling in 550 of 2024, forwarding this file to the Chief Justice. And the comments from the file by the learned judge is that the Chief Justice should consider forwarding that file as well to this bench for consideration. So, my lord, that is information which is useful. My lord, secondly, in Kiambu 039 of 2024, again, the learned judge has issued a similar order, forwarding the file to the Chief Justice for consideration by this, for possible consideration by this bench. Again, in Kegoya E01 of 2024, my lord, similar orders have been issued. So that, my lord, whereas we don't oppose the order for consolidation, if those other files are then brought by the Chief Justice to this bench, then there will be a need for further consolidation or consideration for that question of further consolidation. That's why, my lord, Mr. Milimu was submitting that, and we take great exception to the submission that conservatory orders be issued. You cannot issue conservatory orders when the question
has one opportunity to argue that application is going into the merit.
My Lord, I'm not arguing the merits. What I'm saying is that you cannot consider the question of conservatory orders until all the files are properly before you for determination. Nonetheless, my Lord, if they are ready to argue the question of conservatory orders, my Lord, we are ready to respond to that question of conservatory orders. But my Lord, we are just bringing facts to court so that, my Lord, when you make judicial decisions, my Lord, you are guided by Mutunda rules, which require efficiency, judicial economy, and, my Lord, staff's use of judicial resources.
Your Lordship, we are here because you have 6 files for you. And these files not just land before this bench. They were through a judicial process of certification. Any file that is not before you has not been certified by the Chief Justice cannot be a point of consideration when considering the question of consolidation. I am equally eager, Your Lordship, to urge my application on the conservatory order. So, Your Lordship, anything that is not before you, most respectively, cannot be a question for your consideration.
My Lord.
Yes.
For the Senate and the Speaker of the Senate.
Your name?
Thank you, my Lord.
Yes.
We are parties, we are in the same position at the National Assembly. We find ourselves in all these petitions. The petitioners have the luxury of dealing with their specific petition. My Lord, the question of consolidation is an important one. And also what Mr. Wanyama has submitted is important. There are 3 other files that will be referred to this bench or whichever other bench the Chief Justice decides to constitute. My Lord, at this point, what the petitioners are doing this afternoon is grossly unfair to the respondents. We would seek about to give directions on the preliminary matters, and we are not afraid to proceed with the application. We have filed our grounds of opposition to the application. But my Lord, when we find ourselves in all these matters at the same time, it's very difficult for the respondents to have a day in court. My Lord, we urge them to have the
Yes.
Your Lordship, what I had my learned friend for the Senate suggesting is that
I think it's just in order when you speak, you introduce yourself because we don't keep the names in the
my name is Gachagua.
It's a Gachagua.
What I had my learned friend suggest is that for now, do not listen to an application for conservatory order made by the petitioners, because there are other petitions which are now before you that may come before you or they may go before another court. These petitions, my Lord, we've learned through this process, they continue to be filed more or less after 2 days, after 3 days. There will be no end to filing of these petitions. So, for what is before you, let us proceed. We also ready to do our application for conservatory order. At least, my Lord, all these time we love when petitions have been filed left, right, center. So it is not unfair to file petitions against the National Assembly or the Senate, and therefore the suggestion that we are being unfair to them to include them in every petition is certainly wrong, because they are the proper parties. Thank you.
My Lord, perhaps, with your permission.
Yes.
This is Nyamodi for the National Assembly. If I could perhaps just point out to the bench that the invitation that was sent out by the Deputy Registrar of the Constitutional Division to parties yesterday indicated that the matter is before the bench this afternoon for a mention. I'm not sure whether it is then proper, if this matter is set down before you for a mention, for any party to seek to urge any substantive application that is pending for hearing and determination in this matter.
My Lord, if I may, looking at all the petitions that have been filed before this court, most of them had a certificate of urgency seeking ex parte orders. So therefore, it is not true, or it's not convincing from my learned colleague, Mr. Nyamodi, that it is not fair for them to be confronted with application during a mention for a case that has been listed for a mention. Those orders that the conservatory does that they are supposed to ex parte.
Please, can you tell us who you are?
My Lord, my lady, my name is Lempa in petition 525 of 2024.
My Lord, and my lady, if my colleague is through, permit me to say something small.
Yes,
the purpose of today's mention was for the bench to take directions in respect of the disposal of the petitions that were forwarded to the Chief Justice pursuant to the ruling of Justice Lawrence Mugambe, and or to consider any interlocutory applications. As we speak right now, responses to the petitions and the applications have not been made. My humble request, therefore, will be for the court to give directions on the filing of responses if the court is minded to determine the petitions instead of dealing with interlocutory applications, and to give us an indication when we may return if the court is minded to determine the petitions instead of dealing with interlocutory applications, and to give us an indication when we may return to either hear those interlocutory applications or the petitions as consolidated if the court is minded to consolidate them. Otherwise, we'll end up spending so much judicial time hearing everybody on a matter which the court of itself will even have made directions to hold.
When did they file a petition? This is an application. Senior Counsel Note, you said you filed an application.
Yes.
In this matter.
Yes.
Can you cite it? Where?
Lord, the 5/2024, we have the following documents. One, the certificate of urgency dated 2nd of October 2024.
Yes, I've seen the application.
It is there, including hard copy.
When was it filed?
2nd of October. And this is what was before the Honorable Justice Mugambe.
It was not hard.
We say the issues raised in the certificate and in the petition are so weighty that they needed more than one judge. And your brother agreed, and therefore sent the petition and the certificate to the Chief Justice to constitute this bench. Mugambe was constituted, and therefore I made it clear, we made it clear for the petition applicant in 522 that we wished to argue this certificate of urgency before a three-judge bench. And we are here today. We wish to argue that certificate.
Have you received any responses to that application?
Yes, they have filed grounds of opposition, PU, and that sort of thing. They comply. And my Lord, we are seeking to stop the impeachment in the Senate tomorrow. So we need to be heard today, whichever way this vote proceeds.
Lord, can I make one submission?
Just a minute.
Let's consolidate things. Let's have what we have. We get first to sixth petition and whatever the consolidation is. And the consolidate and then if any problems with the position, between now and tomorrow, because time and deadline, we give them time. If you are able to finish the returns of meeting, we'll give you limited time to choose to go to sleep. But you know, if it's 10 minutes, it will be 10 minutes. Yeah, it's just going to be convenient.
What time?
It has been early. It has been early. So she so that we'll get the around 11. So that the communities will be
Okay. So yeah, that's one. So we consolidate the first one. We give them time to respondents.
The five submissions, they have 45 respondents. The five submissions. And the hearing will be on the entire application in the sixth provision.
On the conservatory.
Yes, on the conservatory. So we have on the application in the sixth. So whoever wants to respond.
Yes. So the submission this one is 20, isn't it?
Yes.
520.
520 the lead.
Do we limit your submissions or just the submissions? Do we limit your submissions?
So in terms of consolidation, we have to reconfigure the parties.
No problem, you can do that in a minute.
Okay.
You can do that.
Of the submissions which were made, firstly on consolidation of the matters which are before us, and secondly on the issue of the application dated 2nd of October.
How about my application? I indicated that I would also wish to urge my application dated the 30th of September.
Which orders are you seeking?
I am seeking for conservatory orders as well.
Which kind of consolidation orders?
Your Lordship.
You see, once we deal with the issue of consolidation, your file will find itself inside there. Yes. So it seems to us best to have all these matters consolidated and heard together as a consolidated petition. And that is the order of the court. What we'll then do is to reconfigure the parties and find out how we refer to them. Judge Mrema will lead us in this process. By the way, consolidation is only for matters which are before us. We cannot entertain any matter which is not currently before us. So the 6 matters which were referred to this bench will be consolidated and heard together as one consolidated petitions. We'll then now reconfigure the parties.
Thank you very much, President Judge. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can hear you.
Yes, my lord, we can hear you, my lord.
Okay. Now, going by the ruling delivered by Judge Mugambi on the 11th day of October 2024, petition 522 of 2024 was made the lead petition Therefore, the first petitioner in this series will be the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, that is petitioner number 1. And then the parties in 509. In 509, we have 5 petitioners. So petitioner number 2 will be Obuli Namenya. Petitioner number 3 will be Kennedy Karidi Gachagua. Petitioner number 4 will be Dennis Okumu. Number 5 will be Simon Muchangi. And number 6 will be Peter Maina Kanene. Then parties in 537. That will be petitioner number 7 will be Gema Watho Association. (528). Petitioner number 8 in the series will be John Mugo Kiragu. (525). Petitioner number 9 in the series will be Njomo John. And in 506, petitioner number 10 will be Caroline Wambui Mwangi. Then on the part of the respondents, parties will appear as follows. The first 4 respondents in the lead petition, that is 522, will continue appearing as the first to the 4th respondent. That is, the first respondent will be the Speaker of the National Assembly of Kenya. Second is the National Assembly of Kenya. Third respondent will be the Speaker of the Senate. And the 4th will be the Senate. Then we will have Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula as the 5th respondent. Honorable Amason King Jeffa as the 6th respondent. The Honorable Attorney General will appear as the 7th respondent. And interested parties will appear as follows.
And look, if you go to the interested party, forgotten Deputy Speaker, National Assembly.
Deputy Speaker, National Assembly?
Yes.
Which file does he appear in? I didn't see any of such a party.
The Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly appears in E537.
537, just a minute. E5.
It's still like a current respondent.
Just a minute. 557, it's here. Oh, yes. Appears as the third respondent. So this one will be, we will reconfigure again. Let's have the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly as the fifth respondent. Then Honorable Wetangula becomes the sixth. Then Honorable Amason Jeffa becomes the seventh, and the Honorable AG becomes the eighth respondent. Any other respondent we've left out? Okay. Then in respect of the interested parties, they will appear as follows. The first interested party will be Honorable William Samoei Ruto. And it appears like he'll be the sole interested party in this. Pardon?
LSK.
On LSK. In which file does LSK appear?
We are the interested party in the lead file 522 of 2024.
So LSK becomes the second interested party. Any other interested party?
It's not in 528.
528.
Yes, sir.
Mount Kenya Jurors. Oh yes, yes. So Mount Kenya Jurist will be the third interested party. Next. Okay. We don't have any amici, so I think we are done with the consolidation and how the parties will appear henceforth. Thank you, President.
May I now have the opportunity to address you?
On what issue?
On my notice of motion in 522 for conservative.
We just a minute.
Just a correction on the names.
Yes, sir.
But not the record properly reflect the parties. When you refer to Honorable William Samoei Ruto, the proper statutory name is His Excellency. So you put HE instead of Honorable. But the same applies for the gathering. Gachagua.
Mr. Wanyama, I'm bound by the pleadings here, and they refer him as William Samoei Ruto.
No, I'm just mentioning on the record of the court.
Yes. Yes, we have taken preliminary arguments put forth by Senior Counsel Wite and very brief responses which were made by various parties and responses thereto. We recognize that the application dated 2nd of October 2024 is a very urgent application, and therefore we will not entertain any further discussion on whether or not it should be had. The directions we are making is that we direct all parties to file submissions of 5-page each to be highlighted tomorrow in the morning at 9. So your submissions must be on file by 8 a.m. We'll give you 5 minutes each to highlight one issue in your submissions.
Well,
that defeats the whole purpose. That defeats the whole purpose of the notice of motion by the Deputy President, because Senate is commencing its impeachment at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And the whole purpose of this notice of motion was to stop that impeachment from commencing. So it's purely academic. We ask that we be heard now so that the record will reflect the argument of the Deputy President, whichever way this honorable bench will rule. But asking us to come tomorrow at 9 renders our notice of motion purely academic.
My Lord, if I may.
Yes.
My Lord, this is Nyamodi for the second respondent of the National Assembly. Tomorrow 9 a.m. may not be convenient because the Senate will be proceeding with the impeachment tomorrow morning. And in any event, my Lord, it is the second respondent's respectful position that this application, similar application, has been determined only a few hours ago by your brother, Mr. Justice Chachamuita. Those same facts were argued before Mr. Justice Chachamuita, and before your lordships decide whether or not to hear this application, it would be important to have sight of your brother Justice Chachamuita's ruling of this afternoon.
Will the Chief Justice consider that it is right that this notice of motion for conservative order be considered by a bench of 3 judges, which is why the constituted this. Give us an opportunity, and I will be very brief on it if one can do. That's all. At least the justice is seen to be done.
Is it correct that a similar application was heard and determined by Justice Chachamuita?
One judge. The orders by the Honorable Mr. Justice Mugambi was that this matter research weighting issues. They should be heard, the conservative application, by 3 judges. And your Lordship, I have no doubt I'll be able to convince you to grant the conservative application. Give us 15, 20 minutes.
My Lord,
With your permission, my Lord.
Just a minute, please.
My Lord. There was somebody in line before you. Somebody.
Yes, if I may go first.
My Lord, my name is Lempa in petition 525 of 2024. Now, given that Justice Chacha Mwita has already settled the question as to whether the court has jurisdiction to audit any action on impeachment and whether it complies with the Constitution, kindly allow me to make an oral application. So now that this matter is oscillating between the judiciary and the National Assembly, it is yet to go to the third arm of the government, which is the executive. My lord, my lady, kindly admit my oral application seeking the following orders. That pending the hearing and determination of this petition, a conservatory order issue restraining the president or his agents from nominating and or forwarding any name to the National Assembly for consideration of approval as newly appointed deputy president. The second, on the grounds that the court has determined it has jurisdiction on these issues. The court has a bench already seized on this matter, has already started to process the various petitions before you. There is no legal order restraining the president or his agent from nominating and forwarding to the National Assembly with lightning speed a new DP nominee to the National Assembly for approval if the Senate votes to impeach the current...
Mr. Lempa, I would suggest that you let us finish the issue before us here, then you can raise any application, we'll listen to you.
I am supporting my...
There's an application dated 2nd of October 2024. We want to deal with that one first.
Mine is also, the petition, my notice of motion is also dated the 2nd day of October 2022. It's in support of that particular notice of motion.
Did you serve it?
Yes. And it was acknowledged, and that's the reason why we have respondents in that particular petition.
My Lord.
Respondents from the advocates from the National Assembly, Mr. Nyamoto and Gumbo, advocates, my learned senior.
I think for the purposes of order, we cannot at the same time talk about two applications. We'll deal with that one application, and if necessary, we'll go to the second application. For the time being, we are dealing with the application dated 2nd of October 2024 by Senior Counsel Paul Mwite.
Yes, my Lord, with your permission.
Just a minute, please.
Milimo, my Lord.
Yes, please.
Now, my Lord, with the new configuration, my Lord, I appear for the 1st, 5th, and 6th respondents. My Lord, we've had the direction that you've given, my Lord, that we appear before you tomorrow at 9 in respect, my Lord, of the lead petitions application. My Lord, on our part, we will be ready to appear before you, my Lord, in the morning to oppose that application, my Lord. And that, my Lord, you shall note that in the decision that has just been delivered by your brother, Justice Mwita, it had some typographical errors, my Lord, that His Lordship indicated that it will be ready soon. We will be requesting, my Lord, that you grant us an opportunity to rely on that ruling, to demonstrate, my Lord, that the lead petitioner before you is engaging in a process of abusing, my Lord, the judicial process. And that, my Lord, as we appeared before you this afternoon, my Lord, you shall note that some of us, my Lord, appeared virtually because we know, my Lord, that the matter is coming up only for directions. For my learned colleague, therefore, my Lord, to seek that we proceed with the motion today is in itself, my Lord, being not only discourteous, but dishonest also, my Lord.
We have considered these submissions, and we must be alive to the urgency of the matter. After we made directions, Senior Counsel Paul Mwite gave his further views, and we have consulted, and we are giving directions forward in a few minutes' time.
Your Lordship, we are ready by the directions given, but perhaps Your Lordship, as you consider the direction sought by my senior learned counsel, there is an application in 528, equally dated the 2nd of October, which is looking to address the consequences of the functions that will ensue either tomorrow or Thursday, that may or may not render the office of the Deputy President vacant. This is a very substantive question of should the Senate proceed to impeach the Deputy President, who is a petitioner, number one. What will ensue constitutionally in the absence of the IBC vis-a-vis the nomination that my learned friend Mr. Lepar was addressing? That is an equally important question in which would seek your indulgence that as soon as senior counsel submits and brings off, that you grant us an opportunity to address you and convince you the reason as to why you need to admit our application.
Mr. Gachagua, I think that's what that is what I said. Yes. That let's deal with the senior counsel's application. After we finish that, if there's any other applications, we can consider it.
I am willing to compromise my application and deal with the application in 528.
My Lord, I'm not arresting your directions. I'm just also going on record. My Lord, and this is now a practical scenario. My Lord, yesterday in the 550 of 2024, we appeared for 4 hours from around 10 a.m. to around 2:30, hearing the question of conservatory orders before Justice Chachamwita. My Lord, the petitioner in that matter is regarding Gachagua. And my Lord, today at 3 p.m., Justice Chachamwita delivered a ruling dismissing the application for conservatory orders. And my Lord, in that ruling, which we don't have the benefit of possessing the physical copy, the judge has said that the petition which he has determined is similar to this one. And therefore, even as you give directions, my Lord, for us, we will be ready, we will stretch ourselves if your directions are that we hear this matter. But my Lord, it is really a process.
I think there's a good argument in the submission that this is a 3-judge bench.
Yes, yes.
And they want this matter to be considered by a 3-judge bench.
Absolutely, my Lord.
Yes.
So my Lord, I'm just mentioning, I wonder that in that matter, the learned Justice Mwita has stated that the issues in that petition, which he has issued an order dismissing the request for conservatory orders, and in this matter are similar. So the learned judge has forwarded the file to the Chief Justice with a direction that the Chief Justice considers it to be forwarded here for purpose of similarity. I'm just pointing out the convergence, my Lord, so that you're able to have a picturesque perspective on the issue. So, my Lord, even if we are ready, even if you direct that we hear this application, just know that, my Lord, we are really stretched in terms of the issues. We are really stretched in terms of time, and even my Lord, our physical ability to stand here, and my Lord, again, argue the same matter which we've been arguing, my Lord, for the last 5 hours.
We have water here. Passing.
If we had any respect for age, you would have something.
Yes, are you ready to take directions?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yes, we'll give directions on that application.
All right. We have considered the submissions made by Council with respect to the application of the 2nd of October 2024, and the following are the directions of the court issued, presupposing that all parties have responded to that application. The bench will hear the application in appreciation of the urgency of the matter, as well as the weighty issues arising, but on very strict timelines, again being realistic about the amount of time that is available. And in the following order, we will allow 7 minutes for each of the petitioners. 7 minutes for each of the petitioners. We will allow 5 minutes for each of the respondents to respond. 5 minutes, and we will allow a further 5 minutes for rejoinder by the petitioners. We aim to render a ruling tomorrow at 8 a.m. But let us keep within the timelines that the court has stated for our respective oral submissions.
Mr. Regional, doing for 5 minutes.
Yes, that one is not a bad one.
Yes, sir. Because I didn't go to the start to pick my authorities. We didn't know that we are coming to make submissions. So
yes, that is in order. We'll adjourn for 5 minutes.
My Lord, we would like to come to court now that we are proceeding. We had only prepared for a mention, and maybe we would need about 30 or 45 minutes to get to court so that we can.
We can hear you very clearly, Mr. Nyamodi. If you can just remain where you are, there's no prejudice. We'll be able to hear you.
Almost okay.
Okay, we'll give you 30 minutes. We'll give you 30 minutes. All those who want to come to the open court, we'll give you 30 minutes.
Yes, my Lord, I was going to make a similar request. Thank you. We will be in court.
6 p.m.
What's the time? We start at exactly 6 p.m.
Mchwa tena. Siri ni gradometer.
Angamiza mchwa kwa kutumia gradometer, the number 1 termiticide in Kenya, kutoka Kenagro Suppliers Limited.
Ingia Digital Gisort na Bonga Deals. Enjoy up to 30% off in unbeatable deals at Safaricom outlets and www